Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 11 of my modded Factorio playthrough. On this episode, we're going to continue to expand our bus and finish up manufacturing all the things that we need. Enjoy. Oh, look how much faster it is when we have all the products. Choo 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 choo. Okay. And this is really going down. So you can see that this definitely would be throughput limited if we grabbed everything at once, but I'm not really concerned with throughput, so you can skip by it. Also, a lot of machines use pipe in their recipe, so even late game you kind of want to be manufacturing pipe and just holding on to it for the purposes of handcrafting. More belt. Shing shing. Easy. Now I think the exact ratio of inserters and whatnot changes because I think the later recipes become more expensive as far as the number of materials. But that's based on the tier, so I am not sure. It's probably one goes in and one goes out. Let's do something like this for now. And for that, let's just put that down there. Where's the iron? Oh, it's getting used up. Huh, let's do the copper then. It'll make it down here. Yeah. Short on the pipes, and the pipe machines are running at full blast. So this will work just fine. Let's just steal from that pipe machine to make pipes to pick up. Let's make this a little more symmetrical. Yeah, it's running at full blast, or mostly. Let's see what's going on up here. Got a bit of a clog. Ah, that is a problem. Where it has a problem with this design where it's got leftover iron ore at the bottom. It wouldn't be particularly pretty, but we can do a loop around. Just go back up to the top again to make sure that nothing gets completely stuck. This will be a largely temporary measure. But it should prevent it from getting stuck. The reason why I'm not particularly concerned about this solution and kind of how ugly it is that we're not that far away from doing the advanced smelting. Let's see, iron. Right here. So I guess we gotta learn how to do steel, make steel first, but then once we do, we'll be able to smelt directly from the ore, and it'll be more efficient, and we'll already have it sorted, so we won't need to do this, but let's see how that works. It should be fine. Oh, as a side note, it looks like I was able to fix that weird screen tearing. I already had problems with it before, so I set the desktop refresh to 60 Hz, which helps with Factorio, because reasons, I guess. But I was still having screen tearing, and then I figured out it was because OBS was turning off Windows Aero, and I have Win 7, so I don't know if later versions have that or not, but it basically just uses graphics power to make the desktop look prettier. It was turning that off, and I think that was glitching it, so I disabled that setting in OBS to leave it on, and now there's no screen tearing. So, thumbs up. That was getting a little annoying. Okay, so we did pipes. Like, I have to figure out where I was. Still need to do the ammo, but the ammo's being saved for the very last thing. Let's see, repair packs can be done when we have stone. It would be nice to make flare capsules. It just requires coal. Instead of making it all the way down here, it might be a little easier to do it right up here where coal and copper is readily available. Okay, so is this moving more efficiently? All green. And yeah, there's some loop around there, but at least it's running efficiently now. Still running low on the iron. Okay. Actually, I can just build it right there. Now we won't need to carry coal around anymore. Okay. Let's see. At this point, we probably can just fill up the belts with coal, and it's interesting that it's falling behind, I see, because our production's almost at maximum here. Still making copper plates. So, probably just make 2 more miners here. And we don't really need burner miner drill, so we can get that off of here. Let's see. Let me pick up some items and make special slots for everything. Let's see, we have our belts already over there. I don't know really where to put everything. Just kind of move things around. I don't really use burner inserters that much, so probably don't need to have that permanently on the menu here. Pipes we do kind of use. Let's put them over there. I see flickering. Yep. Time to double our power output. Generally I double it every time I build it. Just building them one thing at a time can get kind of annoying. Uh-oh. Handcrafting? We can't do that. Oh, we should probably have a box for the copper cable. Because we do kind of need it. With some recipes, yes, but specifically for like doing custom wiring on power poles. Probably should set up a buffer system for this copper. Let's see. Put that over there so we can remove these. Let's see how to do that. Well, how many yellow inserters does it take to fill up a belt? I think it takes 6 in total. I think that's the ratio. So if we had 3 right here. Alright, that should help. Alright, we need to do power. See, we do have burner inserters, though, in our inventory. Usually things I have a lot of in my inventory, I want to have it be on here so I can just see at a glance how much is in there. Since we have lots of copper pipes, we can probably use these when nothing else matters. There we go. Might be nice to have some lights in here. Like right there. Excellent. I don't know how many flares there are to a stack, but clearly not that many. Oops, that is facing the wrong direction. Oh. Yeah. That was dumb. This does need to be here so we can take from both sides. Okay. Let's make the copper magazines out of that one. And the regular magazines out of that one. I think it's like 3 inserters that go in. However, for regular magazines, I'm going to set it to essentially nothing. Although we do need shotgun shells as well. Could manufacture those. Technically, no real reason to move anything. We're not going to really use that many shotgun shells, so I'll just manufacture them right here. And this can be an unlimited inventory. Actually, it kind of does matter, the location, a little bit here. Let's set this up, because it's going to completely consume every last little bit of copper that comes through, so it has to be the last thing on the line. Alright, let's do shotgun shells. Let's just do one inserter for each. And that's going to be our copper dump. Anything that doesn't get used up until that point will get used there. However, I don't want to use up any of our precious iron, so there's no reason to have the iron dump turned on. Working our way through that stuff. It's going to be a while still. We could make stone pipes as well. But I don't know how relevant that's going to be, so for now I'm not going to worry about making any. Okay, now it's time for the second line here. That's going to be making use of the stone and wood. Which we're going to need for repair packs. And then these underground belts. And then the splitters. And I think that's all that we're going to need for that. And I guess just automate the building of wooden chests. Should be kind of nice. I'm just going to put it just there. Just to pick up a stack of bricks. It's not particularly well designed there, but it's okay. So wood and stone. For one, we can divert our stone from up there. Actually, we want this to be like that. Wood's going to kind of be in the same boat as this. We're just going to manually put it in chests and then unload as appropriate. However, we don't actually have very much wood. We need to make some. Perfect time for the mining vehicle, the excavator. Pick up some fuel. Good enough. Since we're at the point now where everything's fairly automated, we can probably start dumping into this research. The tool belt won't take very much, you know, 50 packs, but some of this other stuff, like, I think these things are really boosted by the science cost tweaker because they're considered infinite research, even though I turned off the infinite research, so it's an insane amount of resources, which is fine because that stuff really makes your character powerful. But to start, this is introduced, I think, by Bob's. So quality of life research also adds inventory in, but since Bob's already handled that, I figured there's no point in having 2 different researches for the same thing. So let's expand the inventory by 5 slots. So when you're using the excavator, sometimes I like to mark the things I want to clear out. There's really not that many trees there, it's just rocks. But let's do like all of that. And our excavator. Angel's vehicles. And here we go. See why I like having the deconstruction planner X's? Makes it a little easier to know exactly where to aim this thing. And it's just dumping all of the resources into its trunk. This is introduced by AI Industries. There's quite a few different vehicles available for that mod. I had the programmable vehicles mod added in for AI Industries, but it just seems really complicated and unnecessary. It dramatically would change the way you played the game because suddenly vehicles are very powerful and you don't have as much reliance on trains. But for now, it didn't seem like it was worth the complications, so where this thing really comes into handy is going through dense forests. You just drive straight through and get lots and lots of wood. Tool belt is done. Let's improve weapon damage and weapon shooting. And I'll be back in a bit when I've got all these trees cut down. Pretty close to done. It only took a few minutes. And you could just kind of leave it wherever, but since it's so big and heavy and slow, it might be better off just to put it in your inventory and carry it around with you, and you just deploy it in situations where you have a lot of trees you want to remove. See, over here, it's probably much faster just to chop these trees down by hand rather than slowly lumbering around with the excavator. I think it's catching up with coal. It might help to have a balancer on the end of this, just to make sure we have full output here. Miner that's out. Gotta move that up. Just stick it in there. Does that fully compress the belt? Yes. Now that we have our copper dump, it's looking more efficient. What about research speed? It seems like we could triple the amount of labs we have and probably still be fine. That's probably going to consume a lot of power. Meanwhile, we've got some underground belts and splitters to do. Let's send this up. Let's do weapon damage. Let's see, this guy can be for undergrounds. And then this one can be for splitters, which will require gears and cables. So we're going to need all 4 sets of resources for this. But since the throughput is going to be less, probably can get by with just using 1 lane of the belt. Do basic undergrounds, splitters, wires, and gears. Something like that. So stone and wood needs to come in on this belt right here. And then this one will be the iron and the copper. Nanobots. We do need the circuit boards to make that. We're pretty close to actually getting to making circuit boards here. Let's just kind of fill in some gaps here. Building gun turrets. And the hauler is nice. It's basically like an early car. Oops, I don't need to hand build anymore. It's very fast. I'll show you how it works. Fuel processing. Not actually going to do anything with it, but let's just get that researched and out of the way. Oops. But it's got a nice inventory and it's not super slow. So it can come in handy. Specialist mechanical refining is basically crushing of all of the extra ores added. What is the name of that mod? Let's see. Mad Clown's Extended Age of Bob's Minerals is what that is. Which adds all these different things you can handle and process. But we don't really need any of that right now, so I'm going to not research that. Electrolysis is necessary for steel. I think these require circuits as well. Yeah. So we're going to be pretty quickly limited by circuits. So we probably need to get started on those. So let's get started on this process. The main thing we're going to need is tinned copper wire to make the basic electronic boards. Although we don't have to make them quite yet. We really only need the basic circuit boards, which we can just build now. But unfortunately, it comes in the same research thing, so we have to go down the list of everything necessary to make this, even if we're not going to yet. So we need to do chemical processing, which is basically a furnace to do metal mixing, basically. Special recipes that involve liquids. So instead of a standard furnace that just does whatever you put into it, this one you can select which recipe it uses, and it can use liquids as a part of its recipe. let's say copper cable, one goes in, two goes out. Gears, two goes in, one goes out. Needs 4 wood a second. It's going to take quite a bit. Also, it'd be nice to be making some chests. Okay, next we're going to need solder, which we can make manually or later do the special recipe, which is probably what we're going to end up doing, just because it's easier and more efficient. But for now, research solder. Let's see, that needs 5 per second. This thing's definitely going to be limited. For sure. On belt speed. Finally, we need to do alloy processing, which unlocks the stone metal mixing furnace, which is the same as the other one, but it doesn't use liquids, where you can select its own recipe. And it unlocks the ability to do bronze pipes, although I don't think it unlocks the ability to make bronze yet, which is interesting. Bronze pipes are the upgraded version of copper pipes. This is very quickly going to run out of belts here. On this one machine isn't going to be able to produce enough belts for all of this. But good enough. And finally, these undergrounds, which requires a bunch of everything, basically. There we go, something like that. Alright, that's the end of this episode. On the next one, we're going to manufacture electronics, which will help us make some of the other things we need, as well as start making steel, because we'll need that for our bigger base operations. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.